Hello everyone, Roberto here for another video review. This time we have Green and Black's Velvet Fruit Edition, Raspberry. So basically, yeah, you can see, basically it's sort of raspberry centre filled with, covered in dark chocolate. Well, I say raspberry centre actually. Now, I mean, you would think raspberry centre, but when, I've just noticed that when looking at the description, indulgent fruit centre, delicately coated in rich, smooth, dark chocolate. Now, what was missing in that description? The word raspberry. So, yeah, now bear that in mind because I've just reviewed the orange version of these, orange one, and it says the same here, indulgent fruit centre, but when I was looking at the ingredients on the back, it's a very small proportion is actually orange. Now, yeah, well, I guess we'll jump right into that, why not, we're halfway there. So here we go, dark chocolate with fruit centres, 28%, ingredients, blah, 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 blah. Concentrated apple juice, 14%, concentrated apple puree, 11%, raspberry puree, 1%. Okay. So let's just go over that again. Concentrated apple juice, 14%. Concentrated apple puree, 11%. So, assuming that all adds up to 100%, that's 25% now. 25% apple. Raspberry puree, 1%. Okay. There's no other mention of raspberry. It's got citrus fibre, gelling agent, pectin, concentrated elderberry juice. Natural flavouring, blah 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 blah. No other mention of raspberry. So 1% at raspberry. Okay. So I mean, I don't know what to say about that. let's look at this again. This is marketed as raspberry. Got a big raspberry there. Velvet pure. I mean, velvet fruit. I have no idea. I don't know whether there's some kind of crazy shenanigans going on behind the scenes that equates to actually being more than 1% somehow. I don't know, in taste or whatever. Who knows? But that's what it says on the back. And the description, even though it has raspberry all over it, clearly says indulgent fruit centre. If I was describing something that was raspberry filled, I would say indulgent raspberry filled centre. And that's what other chocolates seem to have done. So, yeah. I would definitely bear that in mind. Anyway, okay, so it looks very nice. The velvet, basically Green and Black's... They're owned by Cadbury, who were bought out by Cadbury. Then Cadbury themselves were bought out by Mondelez, and there's no mention on the back of Cadbury or Mondelez at all. You know, so they're trying to obviously not distance themselves from that, which I think is probably fair enough, really, because they're trying to establish themselves as a good brand. It's one of the first things actually to talk about what Cocoa Life is. So I guess Green and Black source cocoa through Cocoa Life. The Globe Programme invests in sustainable farming. Our partnerships improve the lives of cocoa farming communities, empower women and inspire the next generation, source a better future for all. Learn more at cocolife.org. So they're clearly sort of, you know, a forward-thinking brand, and they don't want to be associated with the likes of global corporations like Mondelez. And it's interesting it mentions empowering women as well. Now I don't know if that's really because Green and Black is primarily bought by women. You know, and they felt the need to sort of mention that, really. But it's nice that they say it anyway. So there we go. Yes. Yeah, so unfortunately it might be some kind of marketing ploy, which is, well, it's obviously a marketing ploy, isn't it? I mean, there's no other reason to mention it. But it's nice that they say it either way, I guess. You know, obviously it's a sign of the way things are these days. So yeah, we've got some other stuff as well. So we've got Green and Black's Velvet Fruit Raspberry. So Green and Black's create delicious, ethically sourced chocolate from the finest ingredients. Our taste specialists have crafted this dark chocolate using the delicate carrot and the soft texture of the finest Ghanaian cocoa balanced with sweet Madagascan vanilla. So again, they're not mentioning, I've said this in the last one, they're not mentioning air miles there, have they? Overlook that point. Velvet Fruit expertly combines Green and Black's smooth dark chocolate with a real fruit centre. No raspberry. The mouth-watering taste of zingy raspberries balances perfectly with the rich chocolates, bringing a uniquely indulgent chocolate experience. So it does mention raspberry there. Green and Black's, the green symbolises commitment to ethically sourced cocoa, the black stands for the high quality and delicious taste of chocolate. So that's what Green and Black's is about, apparently. Okay, so we've got puree pieces. It's a 120 gram bag. We'd have 400 grams as well, per 8 pieces. Now the last one I had, there was 36 spheres in there. See what this one is. 129 calories, 74 grams of fat, 4.4 rates of saturates. Okay, so I'll probably try and do some kind of thing to say per sphere. So there you go, so it looks quite nice. Let's say they are quite nice packaging. I think the chocolate, Velvet Edition chocolates just look a bit rubbish really. These just tend to have really poor looking packaging, and I think the fact this is in a bag helps. The actual bars end up looking a bit like soap really when they have this kind of radiance effect, whereas it seems to work quite well in these bags. Okay, so let's give it an open. So as I say, just mention on the back that it is raspberry taste and zingery raspberry or whatever, but I don't know. 1% is 1%. So as I say, a disclaimer here, I'm not a big... Oh, hang on. Wow. I'm not a big fruit fan. Yeah, fruit and nuts, chocolate-covered raisins, I'm not into, you know, so bear that in mind. Now, I do like this straight away. I like the way you've got these double ones. Didn't have these in the orange one, but I do like that. I like it when you get things like this. I mean, look at those. Dangerously look like suppositories. But let's ignore that. Okay, so let's give one a measure. I think they're about 1.5 centimeters diameter roughly. Yeah. Of course, these ones aren't. God knows what. Yeah, 2.4. Well, of course, these aren't. These are mistakes. You know, not meant to be like that. But I do like that, and they're all quite uniform in size. The orange ones are more uniform. I've got a bit of a runty one here. You can quite tell. Smell it rolling around, but it is. I can't show you properly. It is smaller. There you go. But most of them are not. This is basically the only one in the pack that's small, really. Just for why not? Let's do it. Yeah. So not quite a sphere either, but it's basically about 1.5 centimeters in diameter in one side and 1 centimeter on the other. So length is fine, but the width is not there. Okay, so let's cut these in half. Cut one in half. Ooh, there we go. So basically, what we have is not a juicy sort of, well, not a bit clumsy today. Sorry about that. Not well, there's no juice there. Let's face it. It's like a jelly centre. And you can't see the colour there, but I think if I took away the chocolate, it should be. Now, I was basically discovered this when I was reviewing Jaffa cake, one of the Veddel's Jaffa cakes a month or two ago. And basically, the colour you can't see until you take away the milk chocolate, because the milk chocolate makes it all look dark. So you can kind of see slightly that it's red there. I mean, I guess red's a bit of a darker colour anyway, but you can kind of, I don't know, see if I can somehow shine a light on it, but I think you get the gist, don't you? Yeah. There's red somewhere in there. Okay, there we go. Right, so best place we get, and basically, you know, it does appear to be a Jaffa cake filling, and the orange ones I had, yeah, was basically did sort of come across as a bit more of a posh Jaffa cake. Let's put it that way. But let's give these a taste, shall we? Hello, everyone, by the way. Let's give them a taste, shall we? So I'll eat one as a whole. Let's have a look. Now, how did they compare? Sorry about that. You're probably disappointed. Yeah, basically per 8 pieces. So to the orange ones, there's one less calorie in the raspberry one, and the fat is exactly the same. So it's just very, very, very slightly less calories. Slightly. Okay, without further ado, let's give it a taste. Nice. It does manage to taste a bit raspberry-like, or a bit, you know, I mean, considering there's only 1% raspberry or whatever in it, I don't know what that means, but yeah, it does come across. And raspberries are very bitter, to my experience. The centre isn't very bitter at all. It's quite nice. It's quite sweet, actually, subtly sweet, I'd say. The dark chocolate's very nice. It's not. If you're not a fan of dark chocolate, this won't. You won't be put off by these, because the dark chocolate's quite. It's not overly bitter dark chocolate at all. It just sort of works quite well with the filling, really. But as you can see, the filling is chewy. It's a chewy sweet, really. Which I quite like. I like chewy sweets, but that's basically what this is. You can imagine them being sold in a bag of sweets. It's a chewy sweet that's not. And I say sweet as in, I mean, like a, you know, like a Haribo or something. Which might be doing a bit of a disservice, but Basically, that's what it tastes like, really. You know, that kind of consistency. It doesn't taste like a Haribo sweet taste-wise, but the consistency's there. I lost my train of thought, but yeah, basically, that's kind of what it comes across as. Really, it doesn't come across as eating a piece of fruit, basically, which you might think by looking at the bag and think, oh yeah, it's going to be real fruit. You know, you're going to be eating basically just a raspberry covered in chocolate. You're not at all. You're eating essentially a sort of chewy Jaffa cake centre. Is what you've got. And for me, that's not a problem. But I think that's probably less sophisticated than Green and Bats were intending. But to me, it's really nice, actually. I do like them. I think it's probably better than the orange one. As it's debatable whether you're really tasting raspberry, and I think looking at the ingredients, you're not tasting raspberry at all. You get the illusion of tasting raspberry. You think, oh yeah, that tastes fruity. You know, it's got a vague raspberry taste to it. Yeah, it must be raspberry. And I think that's kind of how it is, really. And I'm not bothered by that, really. But you're not really eating. You're eating raspberry in the same way that you're eating orange when you have a Jaffa cake. You know, basically, that's the way I look at it. Let's try one of the suppositories. Let's see. Quite nice. Yeah, not bad really. Quite like that. It gets bit in half quite well. I think these are really nice, actually. I do quite like them a lot. I'm not a fruit covered chocolate person at all. As I say, I don't like chocolate covered raisins. I'm not bothered by fruit and nut bars generally. As I've been doing these reviews, I've discovered more chocolate with nuts in that I've quite liked, actually. Chopped hazelnuts, you know, it's nice. I quite like that. And honey roasted almond ones from Ritter Sport. You know, I like those. I actually think they're quite nice. Actually, would voluntarily have them over some other chocolates. As a rule, big nuts. You know, I'm just not. You know, I can't eat nuts on their own really generally, and or little dried fruits. I'm just not into it really. But these are nice. But as I say, they're about as fruity as a Jaffa cake filling is fruity. You know, it's that kind of thing. They're just a bit chewy as well, which I quite like because they last longer. I think they're pretty good actually. They're better than I was expecting. I was expecting actually to be sort of basically just a chocolate covered raspberry, and I didn't think I'd be that bothered by that. And some people probably would prefer that really because it would be real fruit, you know. But to me, I'm not. That's not, as I say, that isn't really what I like. But these are sort of basically a chocolate covered sweet. Basically a Jaffa cake really without the biscuit part or cake part, whatever it is. A bit chewy as well. I would say really these are sort of like a chocolate covered fruit flavoured sweet. That's the way I would really look at them. But as I say, they're not sweet. They're sort of more bittery. Don't really have a sweet centre. Yeah. Quite a sort of tangy centre. As I say, very questionable as to whether they really taste like raspberry or not. More probably illusion in the mind because you think you're tasting raspberry. But it's definitely a zingy there, zingy centre, a zingy taste there. Could probably be any fruit really. You could have said it was strawberry, they could have said it was blackberry. You know, and you probably would say, oh yeah, that tastes like blackberry. You know, I think that's the gist of it basically. But yeah, I quite like them. 4 out of 5 I think. It's hard to say why they're not better than that really, why not 5? I mean they're just a bit, they don't have a strong flavour really. These ones or the orange ones as well, they're not strong enough, you know, so they're kind of nice to eat, they're nice texture, but there's not really much substance behind it, you know. You just don't have that, you know, you're sort of tasting something, you're chewing something, nice texture, nice consistency, but there's no real strong taste there really. I think, you know, just sort of, you know, it's more a sort of a texture and a consistency, which is what these have rather than sort of strong taste. You know, the dark chocolate isn't a strong taste, it's just sort of more subtle, and then say the centre's more chewy and subtle as well. It's not really, you know, massively prominent. It doesn't really taste like that much of a fruit. It's just more chewy, if you know what I mean. So, you know, it's, you know, it's basically a bit like a fruit pastel, perhaps without the sugary coating, you know, without too much sugar in, you know. But I think it works, and it's probably doing a bit of a disservice really to describe it like that, but they're not, you know, they're not quite as pretentious as you might think. Well, maybe they are pretentious, but they're not quite as you know, a bit more down to earth once you eat them. Is the gist of it. So there we go. 4 out of 5. Okay, guys, hope you enjoyed that review. If you want me to subscribe to my videos, feel free to watch the orange one as well. Yep, and I'll see you next time. Take care, everyone. See you later. Bye for now. On Instagram as well, if I didn't mention it. See you later. Bye.